Hey everybody, I'm coming to y'all this evening from my kitchen here in Goldonna, Louisiana, bringing you my lesson for today. I want us to start in Isaiah chapter 59, beginning in verse 4. And as I read this, see if any of this sounds familiar. No one calls for justice. No one pleads his case with integrity. They rely on empty arguments and speak lies. They conceive trouble, give birth to evil. They hatch the eggs of vipers, and they spin a spider's web. Whoever eats their egg will die, and when one is broken, an adder is hatched. Their cobwebs are useless for clothing. They can't cover themselves with what they make. Their deeds are evil. The acts of violence are in their hands. Their feet rush into sin. They are swift to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are evil thoughts. Ruin and destruction mark their ways. The way of peace they do not know. There is no justice in their path. They have turned them into crooked roads. No one who walks in them will know peace. Now, I'm sure, much like myself, you've been watching the news, and it gets rather frustrating. It gets kind of downtrodden when we see the riots, and we can't even look at this from a racial standpoint anymore. These rioters come from all walks of life, but the one thing that they have in common is they are described very accurately right here in the 59th chapter of Isaiah. And it's frustrating, and it seems as though that we're not only losing control, but we're also losing hope. But I want you to know that's one of Satan's tactics. That's one of his most worn out tools, I guess I should say. Because I want to invite you to look a little bit further in Isaiah chapter 61. We're going to start at the very beginning of it. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to preach the good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up, and I have some words here in my mother's handwriting that bind up is circled, and it says to stop the bleeding, to just stop it, to be able to control it, but to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim the freedom for the captives, and to release from the darkness the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn, and to provide all those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of gladness instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. Y'all, this world is not all there is. We would love to sit here and think that what we are experiencing is brand new and unforeseen and has never been duplicated throughout the history of the world. There is just so much unrest right now. But none of it is original or new. And none of it caught God by surprise. So much to the point that even as he just got through describing these terrible times that Isaiah's audience was living in, and for the exact same reasons that we're living in it now, we've turned our back on God as individuals and definitely as a nation. But now we also see that just a short time later, he tells us, I'm going to stop the bleeding. I'm going to call you home. This place, this temporary shelter, this is not your home. One day, what you're looking at right now, it will inhabit a grave. This will not last forever. This around me, this will not last forever. Jesus will. Now, as you've probably heard me say before, now, yeah, these are tough times. But y'all, we don't really know what tough times are yet. They're coming. Anybody watching this, you haven't been to the graveyard yet. But when you do, wouldn't you love to know someone who knows the way out? Thanks for watching. I pray that y'all have a blessed Sunday, and we'll see you later.